Stop everything. For the next 30 days, you will refuse to quit. No excuses, no half measures. This is not motivation. It's discipline turned into a weapon. 30 days of relentless, non-negotiable action rewires your decisions, your habits, and your destiny. Quit now and nothing changes. Refuse for 30 days, and the person who shows up afterward will make your old life look like a mistake. This audio gives the rules, the routines, and the repetition. Follow them. Chapter 1. Stop proving and start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. You have a choice. Every moment you spend explaining is a moment you do not spend building. Every minute polishing your argument is a minute you do not spend shipping a result. That is the invisible thief of progress. It steals time. It steals momentum. It steals confidence. Listen closely. Proof is seductive. Proof feels safe. Proof makes you look busy. But busy is not progress. Busy is the sound of fear in motion. You have a choice. Do you want to be busy, or do you want to be effective? That's the key. Here is the brutal truth. The world rewards those who produce, not those who justify. The person who spends 6 months perfecting a proposal will still be polishing when the market moves. The person who ships a basic product on day 1 will learn from the market, iterate, and win. Do the work, not the talk. Ship one thing. Ship again. You don't need their permission. Repeat that. You don't need their permission. Waiting for approval is a silent form of quitting. Approval is optional. Results are mandatory. If you wait until everyone understands your vision, you will never start. Start before others understand. Start before you feel ready. Start now. Here is what proof-seeking looks like. Endless revisions, infinite meetings, a stack of drafts with no launch date, validation questions instead of deadlines. If this is you, you are using other people's opinions as an alibi for inaction. That ends here. You have a choice. Now the practical part. I give you 3 simple rules. Follow them. No excuses. Rule 1. Set a brutal deadline. Not sometime next month. A calendar date. A time. Ship by that moment. Deadlines create pressure. Pressure forces decisions. Decisions create motion. Rule 2. Define the smallest version that moves the needle. Not perfection, not beauty. Function first. Proof of concept. Minimum viable action. Ship that. Then refine. Do the work, not the talk. Ship one thing, ship again. You don't need their permission. Repeat that. You don't need their permission. Waiting for approval is a silent form of quitting. Approval is optional. Results are mandatory. If you wait until everyone understands your vision, you will never start. Start before others understand. Start before you feel ready. Start now. Here is what proof-seeking looks like. Endless revisions, infinite meetings, a stack of drafts with no launch date, validation questions instead of deadlines. If this is you, you are using other people's opinions as an alibi for inaction. That ends here. You have a choice. Now the practical part. I give you 3 simple rules. Follow them. No excuses. Rule 1. Set a brutal deadline. Not sometime next month. A calendar date. A time. Ship by that moment. Deadlines create pressure. Pressure forces decisions. Decisions create motion. Rule 2. Define the smallest version that moves the needle. Not perfection, not beauty. Function first. Proof of concept. Minimum viable action. Ship that, then refine. Do the work, not the talk. Ship one thing, ship again. Rule 3. Record proof. Screenshot, log, video, timestamp. Public accountability is a weapon. When you can show the work, your identity shifts. Proof greater than promise. Be proven, not proclaimed. Let me give you a clear example. Two designers, both have the same skill. Designer A drafts the portfolio for 6 months. Every week, a new version. Every week, a new excuse. Designer B launches a simple site in week 2. It is raw, it is real. Designer B gets clients. Designer A learns nothing from hesitation. Designer B iterates based on feedback. Designer B wins. The difference is not talent. The difference is discipline. It's not about being better. It's about doing more. It's not about being liked. It's about relentless discipline. You will feel exposed when you ship. That feeling is normal. That feeling is growth. If you want to avoid the exposure, you will also avoid progress. Exposure reveals blind spots. Blind spots are opportunities. Find them fast, fix them faster. Repeat. Say this aloud now. I will ship. Say it again. I will ship, even if it is imperfect. Say it one more time. I will learn from the market, not from my fears. Repetition rewires the brain. Repetition builds identity. Identity builds results. Let's be tactical. If you are starting a project this week, do this. Write a one-sentence offer. No paragraph, one sentence. Choose the absolute minimum deliverable that proves the concept. Set a launch time within 7 days. Create one channel to get feedback. Email, comments, direct messages. Shipped. Then measure, then iterate. Do this for 30 days. You will not recognize yourself at the end. That's the promise. That's the rule. You have a choice. You can keep polishing, or you can build. That's the key. A warning. Don't confuse speed with recklessness. Ship thoughtfully. Ship intentionally. But ship. Perfection is the cousin of procrastination. Perfection is comfortable. Comfort kills progress. Make discomfort a metric. If an action feels safe, ask why. If a task scares you, consider doing it first. Now let's talk about the language you use. Stop saying, when I'm ready. Replace it with, I will start. Stop saying, I need their approval. Replace it with, I will show proof. Stop saying, I'll wait for the right time. Replace it with, I will create the right time. Words create motion. Change your words, change your life. You will encounter critics. They will dissect your early attempts. They will identify flaws you already know exist. Welcome them. Use them. But do not let them stop you. You don't need their permission. Their criticism is data, not direction. Absorb the signal, discard the noise. That is discipline. Remember the core loop. Ship, get feedback, improve, repeat. This loop beats planning every time. It is not glamorous, it is effective. You will build speed. You will build clarity. You will build proof. This chapter is not a pep talk. It is a protocol. Execute it. You have a choice. Choose action, choose momentum, choose to be the person who does more than they explain. That's the key. You just removed one anchor, the need to prove. You replaced it with an engine, consistent action. You rewired excuses into evidence. You learned to value proof over promise. You practiced shipping instead of polishing. You mastered the art of starting. Now let's talk about the true currency of progress. Measurable, daily improvement.
Chapter 2. Compete with yesterday, not with them. Stop scrolling. Close the comparison window. Your growth is not someone else's highlight reel. It's your daily ledger. You have a choice. Compete with yesterday or compete with everyone else. That is the decision. That is the discipline. That is the fight. Comparison steals energy. Comparison steals focus. Comparison steals time. When you compare, you imitate. When you imitate, you slow down. You have a choice. Beat yesterday. One better. One better. That's the key. Listen to this simple truth. The only score that matters is your score against your past self. Not followers, not likes, not titles, not the person with the better gear. Your only valid competition is the person you were 24 hours ago. That's the key. Now be precise. Tiny improvements win. A single metric moved up by 1% each day becomes a landslide in 30 days. You will not notice the change in the mirror each morning, but the ledger will show it. Evidence accumulates. Proof becomes your identity. Proof greater than promise. Repeat it. Proof greater than promise. Example time. A freelancer tracks 3 numbers: responses per day, proposals sent, designs completed. Day 1, 2 responses. Day 2, 3 responses. Day 3, 4 responses. One better. One better. After 30 days, the volume doubles. The skill set improves. Confidence follows. Not by magic, by discipline. You have a choice. This is not soft. This is brutal. The method requires measurement. It requires honesty. It requires action, daily. If you skip a day, you reset the chain. If you make an excuse, you rewire a habit into a habit of excuse. You have a choice. Choose the chain. Here are the rules. Follow them. No negotiation. Rule 1. Pick one input to improve. Not 10. 1. Keep it simple. Choose a metric you control. Calls made, pages written, designs uploaded. One thing, one metric. Focus sharpens, results compound. Rule 2. Make the improvement measurable. Increase by a small, precise amount. Not vague, not work harder. Increase by a number. Add one more call, write 50 more words, send one more proposal. One better. One better. That's the key. Rule 3. Track it publicly. Record it in a journal. Use a spreadsheet. Post a daily update to one person or one group. Accountability tilts the field toward action. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You need proof. You need results. Actionable steps now. Do them today. Write today's baseline. How many of your chosen input did you do yesterday? Write the number. Be honest. Add one. Commit to one more than yesterday. Say it aloud. Today, I will do one better. Time box it. Set a 30-minute block. Do the work. No distractions. Log it. Mark the victory. Small wins build momentum. Repeat this loop every morning. Repeat it every evening. Repeat it until it is automatic. Repeat it until resistance falls. Repeat it until your identity changes. Identity is not spoken. It is proven. It is proven by daily evidence. If you want to be a writer, show a 30-day chain of pages. If you want to be an entrepreneur, show 30 days of offers. If you want to be unstoppable, show 30 days where you refuse to quit. You have a choice. Proof builds identity. Identity sustains action. That's the key. Expect friction. Expect boredom. Expect ridicule. This method is boring in public and explosive in private. People celebrate dramatic moments. They don't see the repetition behind them. That repetition is where mastery lives. You have a choice. Choose repetition. Do not mistake speed for progress. Speed without direction is noise. Direction without speed is stagnation. The marriage of measured direction and relentless repetition makes progress unavoidable. You have a choice. One better. One better. Now some real-world adjustments. If your metric stalls, change the tactic, not the commitment. You are allowed to alter the approach. You are not allowed to abandon the daily improvement. When something stops working, experiment. Try a new channel. Tweak the message. Keep the number moving. Reconfigure, don't retreat. Reconfigure, don't retreat. That's the key. You will face comparison triggers, social media, a colleague's announcement, and influencers highlight. When you feel small, revert to the ledger. Open your journal. Read your 30-day record. Proof greater than promise. Look at the chain. Recognize progress. Celebrate small victories. Celebration fuels continuation. Language matters. Say this every morning. I beat yesterday. Say it again at night. I will beat tomorrow. Use it as a mantra. Use it as armor. Beat yesterday. One better. One better. You have a choice. Let's remove myths. Myth, talent decides outcomes. False. Myth, luck is the main driver. False. Myth, overnight success happened fast. False. What looks overnight is 30 days, 6 months, and years of one better days stacked into a moment. You have a choice. Choose the stack. This practice changes more than results. It changes your internal dialogue. Your brain stops asking permission. Your brain starts tracking proof. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You need consistency. This is mental plumbing. You rewire circuits by repeating a single act. Repetition replaces doubt. Repetition replaces fear. Repetition transforms identity. Now a tactical checklist for the next 30 days. Do this exactly. Choose one input. Write it down. Record yesterday's number. Add 1. Do the work in a timed session. Log the outcome. Share the result with one person. Repeat tomorrow. If you break a day, restart immediately. Do not create a day 2 excuse. Don't rationalize. Get back. That is discipline. That is character. That is refusal. You have a choice. Refuse to quit. Final warning. Competing with others is a trap. It leads to mimicry and burnout. Competing with yourself builds skill and pride. Competing with yourself builds a chain of proof you can never lose. That chain protects you when the world doubts you. It proves you when you doubt yourself. You mastered comparison. You learned to fight for one better. You won control of your ledger. You created a system that resists distraction. You earned momentum. Now, you mastered your scoreboard. Next, we attack habits that compound. We break big goals into tiny wins and weaponize consistency. You mastered the competition inside. Now let's talk about how tiny daily wins become unstoppable momentum.
Chapter 3. The Brutal Power of Tiny Daily Wins. Big change doesn't start big. Big change starts tiny, microscopic, unimpressive, invisible. But those tiny wins, they build empires. They build discipline. They build identity. Tiny wins, giant change. That's the key. Most people fail because they chase the dramatic. They chase the transformation moment. They want the explosion, not the spark. But transformation isn't fireworks. Transformation is friction. It's repetition. It's one small action repeated until it becomes a law in your life. You have a choice. Chase the dramatic or commit to the microscopic. Listen closely. Discipline is not built by doing something heavy once. Discipline is built by doing something light 1,000 times. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. You have a choice. Every day presents it. Tiny wins, giant change. You need a new rule for your life. Do one more. One more push-up. One more outreach email. One more page. One more tiny win. It sounds too small to matter. That's why it works. The brain doesn't resist what feels tiny. It resists what feels overwhelming. So stop overwhelming yourself. Start stacking small victories. Let's make this real. A person who does 50 push-ups a day doesn't look transformed on day 1, or day 2, or day 10. But on day 60, their body is different. Their energy is different. Their identity is different. Not because of one massive workout, but because of a tiny daily win repeated 60 times. Tiny wins, giant change. Another example, 5 outreach emails a day. 5, not 50, not 30, 5. You can do 5 on your tired days. You can do 5 on your busy days. You can do 5 even when you doubt yourself. And those 5 messages, stacked over 30 days, turn into 150 opportunities. Someone doing random hustle cannot compete with this. Consistency wins, always. Identity shift is built by repetition. A musician who practices 10 focused minutes a day becomes something dangerous. Why? Duration is not the point. Presence is the point. Showing up is the point. Being the type of person who honors tiny commitments builds a self-image of discipline. That identity becomes unshakable. You have a choice: build discipline or build excuses. Now, here's the psychological truth. Tiny wins bypass resistance. The brain doesn't argue with 10 minutes. The brain doesn't panic over one more. But if you set a goal of 3 hours every day, you trigger the fear response. That fear leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to inaction. Inaction leads to guilt. Guilt destroys momentum. Avoid this trap. That's the key. Let's build your tiny win system. Follow these steps without debate. Step 1. Pick a tiny action. Emphasis on tiny. Something you can do even at your lowest. 10 push-ups. 1 page. 1 outreach. 10 minutes of practice. Something so small your brain can't reject it. Step 2. Make it non-negotiable. Tie it to identity. I am the person who never misses my tiny win. Not when I feel like it, not when I'm motivated. Every day. Non-negotiable. You don't need their permission. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. Step 3. Track it. Tracking creates gravity. A streak creates pressure. Pressure creates pride. Pride creates momentum. Grab a notebook. Create 30 boxes. Fill 1 every day. Protect the streak like your life depends on it. Step 4. Add the mantra. The mantra rewires the mind. Every time you struggle, say, tiny wins, giant change. Then say, do one more. These phrases shift your state. They override resistance. They generate motion. This is how you build transformation without burnout. This is how you guarantee progress in 30 days. Tiny daily wins make quitting harder. They make discipline automatic. They make success inevitable. Let me give you a pattern you must understand. Tiny wins, identity shift, bigger actions, stronger discipline, massive transformation. But the first domino must be tiny, not impressive, not Instagram-worthy, just consistent. Stop waiting for perfect days. Stop waiting for big opportunities. Stop waiting for life to calm down. Tiny wins do not need calm. Tiny wins don't need motivation. Tiny wins only need commitment. That's the key. Now, the tough love truth. You fail because your goals are too big for your current discipline. You stack pressure on yourself, then collapse under the weight of expectations. It's not about ambition. It's about consistency. It's not about speed. It's about daily proof. So shrink the task, shrink the commitment, shrink the friction. Make the win so tiny that failure becomes almost impossible. Once the tiny win becomes automatic, you can scale it. You can intensify it, but not before. Here's what consistency feels like at first. Boring, unimpressive, repetitive. Good. Those are signs you are building foundation. Champions aren't built in excitement. They are built in repetition. That's the key. Now I want you to visualize this. 30 days from now, you look at your logbook. You see 30 tiny wins, 30 victories, 30 acts of discipline, and suddenly, without noticing, you've built proof. You've built momentum. You've built belief. You've built a new identity. Because the truth is simple. You don't become disciplined. You prove you are disciplined. But you have to start small. You have to remove excuses. You have to embrace the microscopic. You have a choice: build discipline or build regret. Now, let's address the excuses. I don't have time. You don't need time. You need 2 minutes. I'm tired. Tiny wins don't require energy. I'm overwhelmed. Shrink the win even smaller. 1 email, 1 push-up, 1 page. Excuses fade when the task becomes microscopic. That's why tiny wins work when huge goals fail. Another truth: tiny wins expose who you really want to become. When you complete your daily tiny win, you feel different. You feel capable. You feel trustworthy. You feel in control. Because you kept a promise to yourself. And every promise kept builds self-respect. Self-respect builds momentum. Do not underestimate this. The fastest way to change your life is by changing the way you see yourself. And the fastest way to change the way you see yourself is by stacking tiny wins. Tiny wins, giant change. Now here's your system for the next 7 days. Choose 1 tiny win. Do it every day. Track it. Add 1 more if possible. Protect your streak. Let boredom be a sign of growth, not a sign of quitting. If you commit to this, your transformation becomes unavoidable. Now, listen to the transition, because you're ready. You've learned to build microscopic momentum. You've learned to weaponize repetition. You've learned to trust small actions. You understood tiny wins. Now, let's talk about consistency, the force that binds everything together.
Chapter 4. Kill the exit strategy. Commit to the process. You need to hear this clearly. Your exit strategy is destroying you. Not because you're weak, not because you're incapable, but because you've built yourself an escape route before you've even entered the battlefield. Every time you say, "If this doesn't work, you are carving a back door into your own life. And here is the truth most people never realize. That back door becomes your primary focus the moment the real work gets uncomfortable. You have a choice, and right now the choice is simple. Kill the exit strategy. Commit to the process. That's the key. Most people don't quit because the dream was impossible. They quit because they never fully committed. They quit because quitting was already an option. They quit because Plan B looked safe, soft, and available. Listen closely. You will always run to the door you left open. If you leave a door open, the hard days will push you through it. If you leave a door open, your excuses will lead you straight to it. If you leave a door open, you will never experience the full power of your potential. To transform, you must lock the door, do the work. Say it again. Lock the door, do the work. The psychology of exit doors. There is a reason people cling to their Plan B. It feels responsible, rational, balanced. But balance isn't what you need right now. Not when you're building a new identity. Not when you're standing on the edge of a life you've never lived before. Exit strategies give you permission to hesitate, and hesitation kills momentum. When you say, "I'll try this for a few months, and if it doesn't work," you've already lost. Trying is testing. Testing is observing. Observing is waiting. And waiting is quitting on a delay. No Plan B, only Plan Do. You want transformation? Then step into the process without the crutch, without the cushion, without the emotional parachute that keeps you floating but never flying. This chapter exists to hammer one truth into your mind. Commitment creates momentum. Escape plans create paralysis. You have a choice, and today you choose commitment. The entrepreneur example. 2 people, 2 futures. Let me give you a real example. 2 entrepreneurs start a business on the same day. The first one, let's call him the hedger, keeps his exit strategy alive. He tells himself, I'll do this for 6 months. If it doesn't perform, I'll go back to my old job. So what does he do? He moves slowly. He experiments instead of executes. He hesitates instead of adapts. Because deep down, he's not building a business. He's testing a hobby. He's careful, too careful. And the universe does not reward careful. It rewards committed. Now the second entrepreneur, let's call her the builder, kills plan B from day one. She cancels the escape route. She doesn't say, if this fails. She says, this will work because I'll make it work. And the moment she kills plan B, something changes. Her brain unlocks. Her creativity activates. Her solutions multiply. Why? Because she has no other option. And options are the enemy of commitment. She finds answers the hedger never discovers. She improvises in ways the hedger never attempts. She endures storms the hedger never survives. Because the hedger always had a choice to quit, but the builder made quitting impossible. That's the key. Commitment isn't a feeling. It's a restriction, a limitation, a narrowing of your possible futures into a single, unstoppable path. The real reason you haven't gone all in. Let's be brutally honest. The exit strategy isn't protecting you. It's protecting your ego. It protects you from embarrassment. It protects you from accountability. It protects you from the pain of being seen trying. But transformation demands exposure. Transformation demands vulnerability. Transformation demands commitment long before the results appear. You don't need their permission, and you don't need a plan B. It's not about safety. It's about discipline. Every time you give yourself a backup plan, you weaken the front line. You want to win? Then stop planning your escape. Stop imagining the soft landing. Stop rehearsing the fallback career you don't even want. You're not building a safety net. You're building a cage that keeps you from the very life you say you want. Say it again. Kill the exit strategy. Commit to the process. What commitment looks like. Commitment isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's repeated. It's daily. Commitment looks like showing up when the emotion is gone. Commitment looks like doing the work when nobody is watching. Commitment looks like moving forward even when the progress is invisible. You have a choice. Every day, every hour, every moment when doubt whispers in your ear, and the choice is the same. Do I run forward or run away? Commitment means you stop asking whether this will work. You start asking what needs to be done today. Because that's the key. Quitting happens in the future, but commitment lives in the present. You don't control the future, but you do control the next action, the next hour, the next push. That's all commitment is, an unbroken chain of next steps. Kill the exit strategy and the chain strengthens. Keep the exit strategy alive and the chain snaps the first time pressure hits. Burning the ships. Why it still matters today. History tells a story of commanders who burned their ships so their armies had no choice but to fight forward, not flee backward. People think it's a metaphor. It's not. It's psychology. When you eliminate the retreat path, the mind stops negotiating and starts creating. When you remove the escape route, you stop entertaining doubt and start engineering solutions. Burning the ships isn't reckless. Burning the ships is clarifying. It tells your mind, this is the path. This is the mission. This is the life. Lock the door. Do the work. No plan B. Only plan do. Your transformation starts with one decision. Your 30-day transformation will not be powered by motivation. It will not be powered by hype. It will not be powered by a playlist of inspirational quotes. It will be powered by removing quitting as an option. That one decision shifts everything. It shifts your attitude. It shifts your creativity. It shifts your persistence. It shifts your identity. Because the moment you stop looking for the exit, you finally step into the arena. You have a choice, a real choice. And if you choose commitment, pure, full, irreversible commitment, everything changes. You kill the exit strategy. You kill the hesitation. You kill the version of you that always retreats. And you unlock the version of you that refuses to quit. That's the key. You just learned how to remove the one thing that sabotages transformation before it even begins. You locked the door behind you. You stepped into the process. Now, it's time to develop the muscle that keeps you moving no matter what tries to distract you. Chapter 5. Embrace suffering, harvest strength. There's a truth most people will never accept. You cannot transform without suffering. Not emotional suffering, not drama. I'm talking about chosen discomfort, the kind you step into on purpose. Discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is the gearbox of growth. If you don't shift into discomfort, you never shift into transformation. You have a choice. Avoid the hard things and stay the same. Or lean into the hard things and become unrecognizable in 30 days. That's the key. Most people treat discomfort like danger. You are not most people. You are here to build a new identity. And identity is built in the moments where you feel resistance and still move forward. Today's chapter is simple, direct, unavoidable. Embrace suffering, harvest strength. The role of suffering in real growth. Let me make this crystal clear. Pain is not punishment. Pain is information. Pain is feedback. Pain is the signal that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone. Comfort is a cage. A velvet-lined cage, yes, but a cage all the same. When you lean into discomfort, you are sending a message to your brain. I'm not here to survive. I'm here to evolve. And your brain listens. It adapts. It strengthens. It recalibrates. Neural pathways shift. Habits rewire. Identity transforms. But it only happens when you willingly suffer a little, not to harm yourself, but to remake yourself. You have a choice. Stay soft or get stronger. Lean into the suck on purpose. This is the phrase you need to repeat daily. Lean into the suck. Why? Because discomfort is not random. Discomfort is the gym. When the workout burns, the muscle grows. When the rejection stings, your confidence expands. When the task feels heavy, your capacity increases. But you must lean into it, not avoid it, not delay it, not negotiate with it. Lean into the suck. Face it. Feel it. Push anyway. That's the key. You don't need their permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need discipline. Because it's not about comfort. It's about consistency. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about extracting power from pain. Suffer now, smile later. Say it again. Suffer now, smile later. Real-world example. Training through fatigue. Picture this. A runner has a training schedule. Day 1 feels great. Day 2 feels good. Day 3 hits, fatigue arrives. This is the decision point. A beginner stops when the fatigue appears. A champion starts when the fatigue appears. Because that moment, the moment you want to quit, that is the rep that counts. That is the rep that builds. You have a choice. Quit when it burns or grow when it burns. When you train through fatigue, you are telling your body, adapt. And it does. It always does. Suffering is the stimulus. Strength is the product. Lean into the suck. Your future self is watching. Example, cold outreach after rejection. Let's take a real-world professional example. You send a message. You pitch your work. You ask for a chance. No response. Or worse, rejection. This is where average people fold. They take rejection personally. They assume it means stop trying. But rejection is information. Rejection is exposure therapy. Rejection builds tolerance, and tolerance builds skill. Every message you send after the rejection is a rep in resilience. Every outreach after a no sharpens your courage. Every attempt after silence strengthens your discipline. You have a choice. Let rejection shrink you, or let it sharpen you. Suffer now, smile later. Example, writing when uninspired. Writers know this pain intimately. The blank page, the empty mind, the temptation to say, not today. But here is what separates professionals from amateurs. Professionals write even when their inspiration is zero. Even when every sentence feels clunky. Even when the creativity feels blocked. Because discipline does the work that motivation refuses to do. Writing through resistance increases skill. Writing through boredom builds consistency. Writing through dryness strengthens identity. That's the key. It's not about inspiration, it's about discipline. Lean into the suck. The page won't write itself, and the life you want won't build itself. Pain is information. Use it. Whenever you feel discomfort, ask yourself, what is this pain telling me? Pain is data. Fatigue might say your endurance is growing. Rejection might say your tolerance is expanding. Fear might say your courage is activating. Boredom might say your discipline is being tested. Pain is feedback, not failure. Pain is progress, not punishment. You don't need their permission to push forward. You don't need approval to improve. You need commitment. You have a choice. Run from discomfort or read it like a map. A map pointing directly to the version of you you've been trying to become. How to practice chosen discomfort daily. Let's get practical. Every day in this 30-day transformation, choose one intentional form of discomfort. Just one intentional form of discomfort. But make it meaningful. Here are options. Finish the last rep you want to skip. Send the message you're afraid to send. Start the task you've been avoiding. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Take a cold shower. Work an hour without touching your phone. These are small storms, but storms train sailors. Discomfort trains champions. Choose discomfort daily, not recklessly, strategically. You're not suffering for suffering's sake. You're suffering for strength. You're embracing discomfort to speed up transformation. You're proving to yourself that resistance is not a barrier, but a building block. Suffer now, smile later. Identity through discomfort. Here is the real transformation. Every time you lean into discomfort, you are rewiring your identity. You stop seeing yourself as the person who avoids hard things. You start seeing yourself as the person who takes action regardless of feeling. You become reliable to yourself. You become proud of yourself. You become someone who doesn't flinch at pressure. This is how champions are built, not in perfect conditions, but in deliberate discomfort. Lean into the suck. Harvest the strength. That's the key. Your transformation depends on this. The next 30 days will test you. You will face tasks you don't want to do. You will hit walls you don't want to climb. You will meet resistance that pushes back. You have a choice. Hide from the pain or harvest power from it. Transformation is not comfortable. Transformation is earned, rep by rep, moment by moment, discomfort by discomfort. Suffer now, smile later. If you accept this, your life will never look the same. You just learned how to weaponize discomfort. You learned how to turn suffering into strength. Now it's time to master the one force that keeps your progress clean, sharp, and uncluttered. Chapter 6. The Silent Cost of Seeking Validation. There is a hidden tax draining your progress every single day. Not money, not energy, not time. Something more subtle. Something more destructive. Validation. The need to be approved. The need to be seen. The need to be applauded. This need is costing you more than any failure ever could. Validation looks harmless. It feels harmless. But it slows you down. It bends your decisions. It changes your identity. You don't even notice it at first, but it's quietly shaping everything you do. You have a choice. Create for results or create for applause. One builds your future. The other destroys it. That's the key. The validation trap. Let's call this what it is. Validation is a cage disguised as a compliment. Every time you ask, do they like this? You're giving away power. Every time you think, will they approve? You're losing momentum. Every time you adjust your work to please someone who isn't even doing the work themselves, you're weakening your craft and your character. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You don't need their hand claps or emojis or praise-filled paragraphs, because it's not about popularity. It's about discipline. Create for results, not applause. Repeat that until it becomes your default operating system. Validation is optional. Results are mandatory. How validation corrupts your progress. Here's the silent danger. Validation doesn't just influence what you produce. Validation rewires why you produce. It shifts your focus from excellence to approval, from impact to impressions, from mastery to performance. And that shift kills growth. You stop taking risks. You stop experimenting. You stop innovating. Because all of those things come with the possibility of failure. And failure doesn't get likes. But success is built on risk. Progress is built on discomfort. Mastery is built on failure. If your identity depends on applause, you will never do anything worth applauding. You have a choice: stay addicted to approval or get addicted to improvement. Validation is optional. Results are mandatory. Example: creators who chase likes. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine two creators. Creator A posts content tailored for likes, safe topics, trendy angles, easy applause, short-term dopamine. But their skill never grows. Their creativity dries up. Their anxiety skyrockets. They're chained to the algorithm. Their identity depends on strangers. Creator B takes a different path. No pandering, no chasing trends, no optimizing for applause. They optimize for improvement. They track metrics. They study results. They analyze what resonates and why. They experiment. They fail. They learn. They evolve. And after 6 months, Creator B wins, because excellence compounds, authenticity compounds, skill compounds. Likes don't. You have a choice. Be Creator A or Creator B. Create for results, not applause. That's the key. Validation as a productivity killer. Validation doesn't just affect creativity, it destroys productivity. Here's how it works. You delay starting because you want your work to impress someone. You over-edit because you want to avoid criticism. You hesitate to post because you fear low engagement. You avoid taking bold steps because bold steps invite judgment. Every form of validation seeking adds friction. Friction kills momentum. Momentum is your lifeline. If validation owns you, your progress will always be slow, always heavy, always frustrating. You don't need their permission to move forward. You only need discipline. It's not about being liked. It's about being effective. Validation is optional. Results are mandatory. Validation and identity, the most dangerous part. Here's the deepest danger of all. Validation changes who you are. You start performing. You start pretending. You start shaping yourself into a version that gets approval, not a version that gets results. And one day you wake up and realize you're not living your life. You're living their expectations. That is the silent cost, not the wasted time, not the lost energy, the loss of self. You have a choice. Stay trapped in approval or step into self-direction. One path feels good. One path makes you good. Choose wisely. How to break the validation addiction. Let's get direct. Let's make this practical. Here's how you break the validation cycle, starting today. 1. Stop announcing. Start producing. Stop telling everyone your plans. Stop seeking excitement or approval for starting something. Just start. In silence, with discipline, with focus. 2. Set one internal benchmark per day. Did you improve? Did you learn? Did you ship? Did you get better? If the answer is yes, you won, even if nobody saw it. 3. Limit feedback to people who actually build. Feedback from spectators is noise. Feedback from builders is data. Choose wisely. 4. Post without checking metrics for 24 hours. Detach. Release. Let the work breathe without your anxiety attached to it. 5. Do one thing daily that nobody knows about. One practice, one rep, one habit, just for you. Private improvement builds public confidence. Validation is optional. Results are mandatory. Replace approval with accountability. Here is the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking, do they like it? Start asking, did it work? Stop asking, what will they think? Start asking, did this move me forward? Shift from approval to accountability. Shift from performance to progress. That's the key. You don't need their permission. Let me say this clearly, directly, without sugar. You don't need their permission to build your life. You don't need their praise to validate your direction. You don't need their applause to take action. Your mission doesn't require consensus. Your growth doesn't require an audience. Your discipline doesn't require approval. You have a choice. Stay trapped in approval or step into self-direction. One path feels good. One path makes you good. Choose wisely. The only validation that matters. There is only one form of validation that counts. Internal validation. The moment you finish a difficult task, the moment you push through resistance, the moment you give your best effort when nobody is watching, that moment changes you. That moment strengthens you. That moment builds you. And that moment stays with you forever. External applause fades. Internal confidence compounds. Validation is optional. Results are mandatory. You just learned the hidden cost of chasing approval. Now it's time to reclaim the one force that determines everything you build next, your ability to control your mental space.
Chapter 7. Build systems, not hopes. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a plan. Hope is not a system. Most people never understand this. They think desires are enough. They think ambition will carry them. They think dreaming is doing. It's not. You have a choice. You can stay in the land of hope, or you can move into the world of systems. That's the key. Because goals are destinations, but systems? Systems are the road, the daily road, the predictable road, the boring, consistent, unglamorous, unstoppable road. Systems win, every time, over talent, over emotion, over motivation, over inspiration. Systems win because systems don't care how you feel. Systems win because systems don't rely on permission. Systems win because systems bypass human weakness. You don't need their permission. You just need a system. The truth about goals. Let's get something straight. Goals matter. But goals aren't enough. Anyone can set a goal. Losers set goals. Quitters set goals. People who never start set goals. People who never finish set goals. A goal is a wish unless you build a system around it. Want to get fit? A goal won't do it. A system will. Want to grow your income? A goal won't do it. A system will. Want to master a skill? A goal won't do it. A system will. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Show up the same way every day. That's the key. Systems remove weakness. Why do systems work? Because they eliminate the weakest part of your life, your emotions, your mood swings, your excuses, your laziness, your fear, your story of, I don't feel like it today. Systems don't ask if you feel like it. Systems just demand you show up. When you rely on emotion, you break. When you rely on systems, you build. You have a choice. Let emotion drive you, or let systems shape you. Systems win. Example, the author who waits for inspiration. Let's look at a simple example. Author A wants to write a book, but they wait for inspiration. They wait for the perfect idea. They wait for the right moment. They wait for the spark. And they wait, and wait, and wait. Author B has a system. 500 words every morning. No debates, no negotiations, no drama. Just 500 words. Day after day, week after week, month after month. In a year, author A has maybe 2 chapters. Author B has finished a book, maybe even 2. Why? Because systems win. Show up the same way
every day. That's the key. Systems outperform talent. Here's the truth nobody likes to hear. Talent is overrated. Consistency is underrated. A mediocre person with a strong system will crush a talented person with no system every time. Because talent fades when pressure arrives. Talent disappears when motivation dies. Talent evaporates when life gets hard. But systems stay. Systems hold. Systems carry you when you're tired, uninspired, bored, frustrated, or overwhelmed. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be consistent. It's not about perfection. It's about repetition. Systems win. Your brain loves systems. Use that. Your brain is lazy by design. It wants shortcuts. It wants defaults. It wants autopilot. Give it the right autopilot. When you build a system, you reduce decision fatigue. You reduce overthinking. You reduce stress. You reduce self-doubt. Because the rules are simple. I do this at this time in this way. No negotiations, no emotions, no bargaining. Just predictable action. The fewer decisions you make, the better your decisions become. The fewer negotiations you allow, the stronger your discipline becomes. That's the key. What a system actually is. A system is not a goal. A system is not motivation. A system is not a dream. A system is a repeatable action that produces predictable progress. A system is daily reps, daily habits, daily structure. Here's the formula. One specific behavior, at a set time, done the same way every single day. That's it. Simple doesn't mean easy. Simple means effective. Systems win. Examples of real systems that build transformation. Let's break this down with real systems you can implement today. The 500 words a day system. Writers use it. Entrepreneurs use it. Students use it. 500 words. No excuses, no permission, just output. Show up the same way every day. The 10 outreach messages daily system. Want more clients? Want more opportunities? Want more revenue? 10 messages, daily, rain or shine, chaos or calm. Systems win. The 45-minute deep work block system. Phones off, tabs closed, timer set. You work. No breaks, no scrolling. Repeat daily. Progress becomes automatic. The workout at the same hour system. Pick a time, lock it in, protect it like your life depends on it, because your health does. Same time, same structure, same rep, every day. Show up the same way every day. Systems make you dangerous. You know why systems make people unstoppable, because systems create identity. When you follow a system long enough, you stop being someone who tries, and you become someone who does. You stop being someone who hopes, and you become someone who executes. You stop being someone who waits, and you become someone who produces. Identity is not built from dreams. Identity is built from routines. Systems win. Break the addiction to hopes and hype. Most people live on hope. I hope I get better. I hope things change. I hope success comes soon. But hope without a system is just a wish, and wishes don't build anything. You have a choice. Keep hoping or start building. It's not about waiting for the right moment. It's about creating the right habits. It's not about being perfect. It's about being disciplined. It's not about being inspired. It's about being consistent. You don't need their permission. You just need a process. Systems win every time. Your system must survive bad days. Anyone can follow a system on their good days, but the real power comes on the days you don't want to do it. your tired days, your stressed days, your busy days, your low days. That's where identity is forged. That's where discipline is built. That's where success compounds. A system that only works on good days isn't a system. It's a mood. A real system survives chaos. A real system survives emotion. A real system survives life. Show up the same way every day, especially when you don't feel like it. That's the key. You built your system. You removed the guesswork. You eliminated the weakness. Now it's time to face the one enemy that ruins more progress than failure ever does: chaos. Chapter 8. Obsess over inputs. Ignore instant results. You want to change your life? Then fix what you focus on, right now. Most people obsess over results they can't control while neglecting the inputs they can. They chase outcomes instead of building the actions that create outcomes. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they stay frustrated. That's why their progress feels random. But you're about to break that cycle. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. Results lie. Inputs don't. Results fluctuate. Inputs stay steady. Results are delayed. Inputs are immediate. Results require patience. Inputs require discipline. You have a choice. You can keep refreshing your metrics like a gambler waiting on a jackpot, or you can become the person who stacks inputs every day until success has no choice but to show up. That's the key. You don't need their permission. You don't need immediate validation. You need discipline, day after day, rep after rep, hour after hour. It's not about outcomes. It's about discipline. It's not about speed. It's about consistency. It's not about luck. It's about inputs. Control the controllables. Say it again. Control the controllables. Most people sabotage their own success because they measure the wrong thing. They measure the result of the workout instead of the workout itself. They measure the sale instead of the dials. They measure the likes instead of the posts. They measure the weight on the scale instead of the meals they cook. That's why they quit early. That's why they burn out. That's why they never see the compounding effect of persistence. Listen carefully. Results are always late. Always. 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 If you expect instant rewards, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. But if you obsess over inputs, you create a machine that never stops moving. A machine built on discipline, not emotion. A machine built on action, not hope. Imagine two salespeople. One counts daily revenue. The other counts calls made. The first one swings emotionally. He feels good on lucky days, crushed on slow days. His performance is unpredictable, inconsistent, unstable. But the second, the one who counts calls, he wins. He wins because he controls the controllables. He wins because inputs compound. He wins because he's not chasing dopamine, he's building discipline. Do the work. Let the results arrive. This is the mindset that separates amateurs from professionals. Amateurs want proof before they commit. Professionals commit before proof exists. Professionals understand that results lag behind effort, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months. They don't panic. They don't quit. They don't negotiate. They show up. Show up with measurable inputs. How many pages did you write today? How many cold emails did you send? How many minutes did you practice your craft? How many workouts did you complete? How many reps did you stack? These are inputs. These are controllables. These are the bricks of a transformed identity. You have a choice. You can track the things that build you or track the things that distract you. Most people track distractions. They obsess over analytics, charts, dashboards, numbers that jump around for reasons they don't understand. They build their self-worth on noise, but not you. You are choosing the work. You are choosing the controllables. That's the key. Let's make this brutally practical. Rule 1. Define your inputs clearly. Not vague, not emotional. Quantified, countable, repeatable. If your goal is fitness, your input is minutes trained or workouts completed. If your goal is wealth, your input is sales calls, product iterations, or hours spent developing skills. If your goal is creativity, your input is pages written, thumbnails created, or drafts completed. No ambiguity, no wiggle room. Rule 2. Set a minimum input target you hit every day. Not when you feel inspired, not when the stars align. Every day. Non-negotiable, unbreakable, uncompromising. When you set the bar this way, it rewires your brain. It tells you, I don't wait for results, I create them. Rule 3. Track inputs, not outcomes. Get a notebook, a spreadsheet, a whiteboard, anything. Create a scorecard of actions taken, not rewards earned. Every checkmark is a win. Every rep is a deposit. Every logged input is proof you're becoming the person you promised yourself you'd be. This is identity transformation in real time. Rule 4. Judge success by the work you did today, not the reward you got. This is where most people fail. They say, I worked hard today, why didn't I get the result? And that mindset destroys them, because they expect immediate reciprocity. They expect the universe to pay them instantly. But the universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on compounding, on accumulation, on delayed dividends. You don't control the harvest, you control the seeds. Say it with me. Do the work. Let the results arrive. Results are not your job. Your job is inputs. This frees you. It frees you from anxiety. It frees you from impatience. It frees you from the emotional roller coaster of chasing outcomes you can't dictate. Suddenly the path becomes simple. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. You're not guessing anymore. You're not hoping anymore. You're executing. And here's the real magic. When you obsess over inputs, your identity shifts faster. You feel powerful. You feel consistent. You feel unstoppable. Why? Because your self-worth is no longer dependent on a result. Your confidence comes from the daily evidence of your effort. That's unshakable confidence. The kind that lasts, the kind that compounds, the kind that builds champions. Remember this. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems and your inputs. That's the key. So stop hitting refresh on your results. Stop checking who liked your post. Stop measuring what you can't control. Instead, track the only thing that builds you, your daily, disciplined, measurable inputs. Because at the end of the day, it's not about talent, it's not about luck, it's not about speed. It's about discipline. It's about inputs. You have a choice, and now you know which one leads to real transformation.
Chapter 9. Rewire your identity with proof. Identity isn't something you declare. Identity is something you prove. People talk about becoming their best self, but talk is cheap. Promises are cheap. Wishful thinking is cheap. Your brain doesn't believe your words, it believes your evidence. It believes what you repeatedly do, not what you repeatedly say. That's the key. You have a choice. You can keep proclaiming the person you want to be, or you can prove it through action. Here's the brutal truth. Identity follows evidence, not feelings, not motivation, not affirmations. Evidence. If you want to become someone new, you need to build a chain of proof so undeniable that even your old self can't argue with it. Proof greater than promise. Say it again. Proof greater than promise.
You don't rewrite your identity by thinking differently. You rewrite it by behaving differently, consistently, long enough that your brain accepts the new pattern as truth. This chapter is about the mechanism of true transformation, how to create a self-story that's earned, not imagined. Most people misunderstand identity. They think it's something you decide. But identity is not a decision. Identity is a conclusion your brain reaches after examining your patterns. You say, I want to be disciplined. Your brain asks, where's the proof? You say, I'm going to be consistent. Your brain asks, show me. You say, I'm a runner, a creator, an entrepreneur. Your brain asks, do your actions match the title? When the actions don't match, the identity collapses, and you feel like a fraud. That's why you struggled to stay consistent. You're trying to carry an identity you haven't proven yet. But here's the good news. You can change this, permanently, predictably, powerfully. You have a choice. Start delivering evidence. Let's break it down. Identity transformation requires one thing, a streak of identity-affirming behavior. Not once, not twice, not when you feel inspired, but every day for a set period. I call this the 30-day chain of proof. Why 30 days? Because 30 days is long enough to override the old story, but short enough to commit to fully. It's a psychological reset, a neurological reshaping, a behavioral rewriting. 30 days of doing the thing your future self would do. 30 days of proving your identity with action, not intention. 30 days of daily evidence your brain can't deny. Proof? Greater than promise. Be proven, not proclaimed. Let's use a simple example. The person who says, I want to be a runner. Saying it means nothing. Buying shoes means nothing. Watching videos means nothing. Telling friends means nothing. But logging a 30-day run streak, that means everything. Because on day 1, you're pretending. On day 5, you're experimenting. On day 15, you're evolving. On day 30, you're convinced. At that point, you're not trying to be a runner. You are one, because you've built the evidence. You've built the proof. Identity follows evidence. Let's apply this to real life. You want to be disciplined? Show me 30 days of a non-negotiable habit. You want to be consistent? Show me 30 days of tracking your inputs. You want to be a writer? Show me 30 days of writing, even for 10 minutes. You want to be financially responsible? Show me 30 days of tracking every expense. You want to be fit? Show me 30 days of training without excuses. Your identity doesn't change when you declare the goal. Your identity changes when you build the streak. Proof greater than promise. Now let's make this brutally practical. Step 1. Choose one identity. Only one. Not 5, not 10, 1. The identity that will create the biggest ripple in your life. Maybe it's athlete. Maybe it's creator. Maybe it's entrepreneur. Maybe it's disciplined person. Your choice determines your behavior. Step 2. Choose one daily action that proves it. Not complicated, not overwhelming. Simple, repeatable, identity-affirming. A runner runs. A writer writes. A disciplined person follows through. A creator creates. One action, done daily. Step 3. Commit to 30 days, zero negotiation. No skipping, no excuses, no bargaining. Every day you do the action, you strengthen the identity. Every day you skip, you strengthen the opposite one. You have a choice. Choose the identity you want to feed. Step 4. Track the streak visibly. A calendar, a whiteboard, an app, something visual. Because here's the psychology. Your brain responds to progress it can see. The longer the streak grows, the harder it becomes to break. You're not just building behavior, you're building leverage over your old self. Step 5. Let the identity catch up to the proof. Don't rush it, don't force it. Identity shifts slowly, then suddenly. One day you wake up, and the action you once resisted becomes part of who you are. That's transformation. That's the power of proof. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about belief. It's about evidence. It's not about affirmations. It's about actions. Proof greater than promise. Be proven, not proclaimed. There's something liberating about this. When you stop trying to convince yourself and start proving yourself, everything changes. Your confidence rises. Your discipline strengthens. Your self-respect multiplies. You don't have to hype yourself up anymore. You don't have to fight imposter syndrome. You don't have to feel ready. You have proof, and proof destroys doubt. You become the person who doesn't need permission. You become the person who doesn't wait for motivation. You become the person who doesn't negotiate with weakness. You become the person your future demands. Because at the end of the day, identity is not something you find. Identity is something you earn. It's not about talent. It's not about motivation. It's not about feeling confident. It's about discipline. It's about evidence. It's about proof. And you have the power to build that proof starting today. You have the power to prove who you are and who you're becoming. You have the power to rewrite your story one day at a time. Proof greater than promise. Be proven, not proclaimed. You've learned how to rewire your identity with evidence. Now it's time to take that new identity and protect it fiercely, because the next enemy is subtle, relentless, and always hungry. You've built your proof. Now let's defend your growth.
Chapter 10. Never quit. Reconfigure. Never quit. 3 words. Simple, but misunderstood. Most people hear it and think suffering, blind stubbornness, or sticking to a failing method until collapse. That's not it. That's weakness disguised as discipline. That's martyrdom masquerading as grit. Real never quit isn't about clinging to a broken plan. It's about smart reconfiguration. You have a choice. You can quit the mission when the method fails, or you can quit the method and double down on the mission. That's the key. Discipline is not rigidity. Discipline is adaptability with purpose. It's about refusing to abandon the end goal while changing the approach that isn't working. Let me explain. Most people quit the wrong thing. They quit the purpose and keep clinging to a failing strategy. They see an obstacle, feel the pain, and abandon the dream entirely. Then they tell themselves, "It wasn't meant for me," or "I tried my best." They feel justified. They think quitting equals wisdom. But it's not. It's fear dressed as logic. It's avoidance pretending to be courage. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation from anyone. You have the right to protect your mission while flexing your method. You have the right to iterate without surrendering. That's the difference between quitters and winners. It's not about suffering for suffering's sake. It's not about stubbornness. It's about discipline. It's about adaptability. Reconfigure, don't retreat. Say it again. Reconfigure, don't retreat. Here's a concrete example. A founder launches a new product.
Early metrics are dead. Users don't engage. Sales are flat. Feedback is harsh. The easy path is to abandon the product entirely, to call the mission failed, to retreat into comfort. Most would. But the elite, they pivot. They reconfigure. They study the data, test hypotheses, tweak the features, adjust the messaging, and rebuild the distribution. The product changes shape, the method evolves. The mission, solving the problem, stays intact. Months later, traction appears. Growth explodes. The mission is fulfilled. The goal is reached. All because the founder refused to quit the purpose, only changed the approach. Change method, not mission. Repeat it. Change method, not mission. Let's make this actionable. There are 5 steps to applying never quit with intelligence. Step 1. Separate mission from method. When a plan fails, don't attack yourself. Don't question your ability. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Instead, ask, which part of the plan isn't working? The mission is the destination. The method is the vehicle. If the vehicle breaks, fix it. Don't abandon the journey. Step 2. Identify the friction point. Every failing plan has one weak link, one bottleneck, one friction point. Is it your execution, your environment, your timeline, your tools? Find the specific thing slowing you down. Most people quit before isolating the problem. Discipline isolates it. Focused adaptation fixes it. Step 3. Replace, don't abandon. Once you identify the weak link, replace it. Don't quit the mission. Change the channel, change the routine, change the approach, but keep your eyes on the prize. The mission doesn't change, the plan does. That's the essence of tactical persistence. Step 4. Commit fully to the new approach. Most people pivot lightly. They dabble halfway. That's not reconfiguration. That's hesitation. When you change the method, do it with the same intensity as the original plan. Lock in. Execute relentlessly. Track your progress. Adjust again if needed. Discipline is repetition. Persistence is refinement. Adaptation is evolution. Step 5. Review fast, iterate faster. Reconfiguration demands speed. Evaluate early, adjust often. Don't linger on a failing method. Don't cling to a losing approach out of pride. The battlefield favors the adaptive, not the stubborn. Your future self depends on your ability to pivot intelligently while staying loyal to the mission. Let's break the mindset down further. Quitting the method is not quitting. Quitting the mission is. Stay flexible, stay observant, stay relentless. Obstacles are signals, not verdicts. Failure is feedback, not identity. You have a choice. Quit the mission and stay safe, or reconfigure the approach and grow stronger. That's the key. Winners always choose the latter. They refuse to retreat from purpose. They refuse to surrender to circumstance. They pivot intelligently and keep moving. Think about your own life. How many goals have you abandoned because the first method didn't work? How many dreams did you bury because you confused failure in execution with failure in intention? It ends here, today, now. Reconfigure, don't retreat. Change method, not mission. This isn't theory. This is practical. This is brutal. This is what separates those who finish from those who quit. You don't quit. You don't fold. You don't compromise your purpose. You reconfigure. You iterate. You adapt. You execute. You win. Every time you feel like quitting, repeat it. Reconfigure, don't retreat. Change method, not mission. You've mastered fear. You've mastered habit. You've mastered identity. You've mastered inputs, systems, and persistence. Now your ultimate weapon is adaptability combined with unwavering commitment. Every plan will fail. Every path will stumble. Every strategy will meet resistance. The difference is what you do when that happens. Quit entirely or pivot smartly. Winners pivot. Winners adapt. Winners iterate. Winners finish. So now, as this chapter closes, make this your daily mantra. Reconfigure, don't retreat. Change method, not mission. You have the tools, you have the discipline, you have the purpose, and you will never quit. You will reconfigure, you will adapt, you will execute, and you will win.